snow in our primary snow belt this morning, and as we wait for more folks to join us here on our WKYC Facebook page, I want to do a couple of things. First off, tell you need the snow shovels in Lake Geauga, Ashtabula County, if not the full-blown snow blowers, because lots of lake effect snowfall being seen. And I want to make sure that we discuss as well what exactly is lake effect snow, as I try to put this thing down real quick, and how lake effect snow actually forms. There's a couple of really important ingredients that need to set up in order for lake effect snowfall to take place here in Northeast Ohio. And conveniently, all of those features and mechanisms that are in place right now are leading to the heavy lake effect snow that we're seeing. So warm Lake Erie water temperatures. Right now, Lake Erie is sitting in the upper 30s in terms of water temperatures. Meanwhile, air temperatures outside are really cold. Single digits for many of us, wind chills below zero. So again, that spread is nearly 30 degrees between the air temperature and the actual water temperature. So when you have that really cold air over relatively warm water, you know what that means. That leads to a lot of evaporation. That evaporation leads to condensation. And as we learned back in 5th or 6th grade, the condensation eventually leads to the formation of cloud cover. And it's those clouds, as they really start to fill up with water, that eventually lead to the heavy snowfall that we see in our primary snow belt. And the reason for that is because of the winds that we're seeing. Right now, the winds are generally speaking from the west, anywhere between, say, 5 to 20 miles per hour. And it's that westerly direction that's helping to form those mega bands of snow that we're seeing right now in our primary snow belt. And our primary snow belt, by the way, if you're just kind of clicking on and you're like, wait a minute, what's the primary snow belt and the secondary snow belt? What is he talking about? Well, our primary snow belt is typically this area here. Eastern Cuyahoga County, that does include the city of Euclid. Menor, that's in Lake County. Parts of Geauga County are in the primary snow belt as well. Chardon is very commonly known as the snow capital of the world here in Northeast Ohio, or I should say the snow capital of Northeast Ohio. And then, of course, our friends in Ashtabula County who have been pounded by the snowfall this morning. So that's our primary snow belt, and that is where we're tracking the heaviest snowfall. So right now that we have a good number of folks that are joining us on WKYC's Facebook page, I want to dig into what's going on right now. Notice that most of you joining me, say, west of Cleveland and south of downtown Cleveland, not a thing to worry about. You're looking out your window and you're like, what snow? I see the snow on the ground, but there's absolutely nothing in the air. And in a lot of spots, that's going to be the case. So Akron, Canton, we're not talking to you. Our friends even back towards Mansfield, Worcester, and Wayne County, Huron, Sandusky area, you guys are A-OK. It's in our primary snow belt, as we just mentioned, where we're tracking the heaviest amount of snow. So I want to really localize things and start off first in Ashtabula County, where we saw a ton of snowfall early this morning from Conneaut back toward North Kingsville. And then even into Ashtabula itself. If you head to my Facebook page, there's a couple of pictures that I posted out of Ashtabula, and it's pretty impressive. The reason right now why this snow is beginning to lighten on up is because the primary snow band that we're tracking, or the mega band as we call it, is seeping a little further toward the south and seeping further inland. That may change, though, through the course of the afternoon. It all depends on the winds. So into Geneva we go, and then here we are in North Madison. This is on the eastern fringes of Lake County. You're certainly seeing that light snowfall. The more moderate snowfall is taking place, unfortunately, right along 90, just south of Paynesville. North Perry, again, a couple of flakes in your neck of the woods, and then into the northern tip there of Geauga County, also seeing some of that light snow. But the heaviest of the stuff right now is in Menor. So if you're joining us in Menor right now and you look outside your window, obviously you're seeing that moderate and at times some heavy snowfall. This is, of course, impacting traffic not only along 44 but 84. Looks like Ohio State Route 20, 174, also seeing some slow traffic, not to mention the interstates as well. So what I want to do is overlay our traffic map on here and show you what things look like on the roadways as we speak. Notice that where it's not snowing, Again, traffic, not a huge issue whatsoever, but where we are seeing that heavier snow towards, say, Leroy, as we mentioned, just south of Paynesville is where the heaviest of that snow band is right now. The yellow and orange, yep, you got it. That is slow traffic. Folks taking their time. Of course, today is the day after Christmas. It is Boxing Day. Lots of folks are going to be heading home today. If you had any out-of-town guests from, say, Toronto or from upstate New York and they drove, if they're leaving this morning or this afternoon or even this evening, expect a difficult commute, especially along our interstates and some of our other thoroughfares, the ones that are perhaps not as well traveled, let's say 20 as opposed to 90. So you can see towards, say, North Madison where those shades of red are. That's stop and go traffic, all due to the lake effect snow that we're seeing right now. And unfortunately, sometimes when you have folks that aren't familiar with how to drive in the snowfall, most likely from Michigan, right? The problem is that they could rear end some other folks that are driving on those roadways. So make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of stopping distance between your vehicle and, of course, that vehicle in front of you. It's slow traffic, say, through just south of Geneva, right along 90. Looks like things do pick up a little bit just south of Ashtabula. And the reason for that is because the snow is beginning to lighten up in that part of Ashtabula County. But not to be left out is the fact that there is still some medium to slow traffic even as we head toward Erie, Pennsylvania, heading eastbound on 90. So traffic is going to be a huge concern. If you're going to be flying out of Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, we're not expecting much in the way of snow there. Temperatures, as we mentioned before, another huge weather story. We'll get back to the radar again in just a second, but keep in mind that with air temperatures at 8 degrees this morning in Lorain County, 8 degrees also down towards Richland, Ashland County, only 9 in Worcester. It's ridiculously cold for you. So if you got that parka for Christmas, today is the day to rip it open, tear open those gifts and those the boxes that you may have that have your gloves, your hats, your scarves in them, and get the thick stuff out. It's not the time to look cute trying to head on outside to perhaps return some gifts. No. You need the thick hats, the thick gloves, the thick scarves, the big, thick winter coats. That's what you need if you're going to be heading out to the local stores to return some items. Winds from the west and southwest generally between, say, 5 to near 15 to 20 miles per hour. That sends our wind chills way below zero. How about 6 below is what it feels like in parts of Lorain County and Elyria. 6 below is what it feels like in Worcester and Wayne County. 4 below zero is what it feels like in downtown when you factor in the winds to the actual temperatures. If it is cold for you, it is cold for our furry friends as well. So today is not the day where you open up, say, your back door and let the dog run out for an hour or two to go potty and all that good stuff. I would say maybe 5 minutes to 10 minutes at max, and they got to come right back inside because it's way too cold for our furry friends as well. Again, another recap on that radar, just showing you that band of snow. Notice that it is pivoting, and it's been pivoting and shifting throughout the morning, and it's been oscillating. And at this point, it's been oscillating a little bit further toward the south. This morning, it was way up towards Ashtabula and Conneaut, and that's the reason why we saw all that snowfall up there. It's pivoted a little bit further toward the south, cutting right through the heart there of Lake County. And if it continues its trajectory toward the south, again, I wouldn't be too surprised if some of our friends in, say, Euclid on the northeast edge there of Cuyahoga County ended up picking up on some snow. Now, do I think it pivots far enough south that it gets into downtown? That remains to be seen. I'm not feeling all that optimistic about that happening just yet. Could it happen? Yes, but I think that just given where the winds are at right now, we almost need more of a northerly component to that wind for that band to really begin to move toward the southeast and into downtown. Nevertheless, though, I want you to be prepared on our primary snow belt for that heavier snowfall. Let's talk about the timing on this before we go over how much I think we pick up. I think by about 9 o'clock this morning, still tracking that heavy snow band in eastern Cuyahoga County, Lake Geauga, Ashtabula. And as we said, travel along 90 is going to be really difficult and slow. So I might even suggest maybe taking an alternative route if you're perhaps going to be heading up toward upstate New York. Again, although the easiest way typically is to drive right along the lakeshore, with all of this lake effect snow through parts of Lake Geauga, Ashtabula County, that might be kind of difficult. So if you can maybe find a little way around that, perhaps on one of the roads in southern parts of Geauga County, that might not be a bad idea, or even cutting through, say, parts of Portage County before reconnecting up, I think might be a good idea, just to kind of miss that snow band that we're seeing right now. So 9 o'clock through lunchtime, lake effect snow. For the rest of us, Akron, Canton, it's just cold. I think that a couple of us will actually enjoy some peaks of sunshine out there as well. Mansfield cold at 12 by around noon today, and by 5 o'clock still seeing the influences of that lake effect snow band, and that's going to persist through the evening and the overnight hours before tapering some, and then with a little wind shift during the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning, I think that we may then see a little bit of snow begin to develop in our secondary snow belt. So parts of, say, Lorain County, western Cuyahoga County, this would be right around, say, the airport as well. Maybe getting into northern Medina County. I know that typically our secondary snow belt, which does span into parts of Summit County, I don't think at this point that we'll see that lake effect snow band really begin to push too far south into Summit County. So I think that it'll be kind of confined toward the near shore, so closer toward Lake Erie. So heads up again tomorrow morning if you have any flight plans out of Cleveland Hopkins Airport. We'll be monitoring that for you very carefully. But I've actually been out to Cleveland Hopkins Airport to geek out and see what their snow removal process looks like. And they got it covered. There are literally like a ton of plows that are plowing that runway. As long as they're able to keep the runways clean, it's A-OK. And they have a fully staffed system in order to do that. So they're ready and prepared. So I don't expect there to be major flight delays tomorrow because of the lake effect. Otherwise, by Wednesday afternoon, still seeing a couple of snow showers in both our primary and parts of our secondary snow belt. But again, Akron, Canton, down towards Tuscarawas, Carroll counties, I don't think it'll be a huge deal for you. In terms of snowfall totals, and I'll stay on this graphic for a minute so that you can get oriented with where you are versus what our forecast looks like. This is going to run through 5 p.m. tomorrow on Wednesday. But notice that Elyria back towards, say, Sandusky, our friends even in Norwalk down towards Mansfield, Worcester, and Wayne County, Medina, I don't think we see much of anything. Maybe a couple of flurries here and there. Akron, Canton, same sort of story for you. It's in our primary snow belt where we'll see the lion's share of the snowfall this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and then during parts of the overnight hours before, again, our secondary snow belt picks up on just a little bit of snowfall just west of downtown Cleveland and then on the eastern edge there of Lorain County. Outside of our primary snow belt, 2 to 4 inches possible, and then it's within our primary snow belt where we could pick up anywhere between, say, 4 to 8 inches of snow. That does include what's fallen this morning in parts of Ashtabula County, Chardon, again, the snow capital in northeast Ohio. A good 4 to 8 certainly possible for you. Menor on the lake. Again, we're talking to you. You're in that 4 to 8 zone of how much we could pick up. Euclid, you're right on the border, by the way. And that's because of where that snow band is oscillating in waivers. If it oscillates a little further toward the south, again, then you can expect heavier snow amounts in your neck of the woods. And again, when it comes to lake effect, I can't even begin to describe how difficult it is to forecast exactly where it's going to be for exactly a specific length of time. And that all then determines exactly how much snow that you'll pick up. So again, these are, let's say, a little bit more loose figures. Obviously, we could pick up a little bit more than that 4 to 8 inch range if that snow band then pivots further toward the north and stays concentrated through parts of Lake County and Geauga County and perhaps even Ashtabula. If that happens, we could pick up close to a foot of snowfall. So something to really just make sure that you are monitoring very carefully. I think that down towards Akron, Canton, not a whole lot. You're joining me online. You can always add comments to the comments section. I actually have over here, I'm going to wheel this thing right on in. I have my cell phone here with me too. So if you have any questions about what the snow forecast looks like for you, feel free to log on and into the comment section, add your comment in there, and I'll see what I can do here just for a quick moment to get your questions answered here for you. And I'm going to head on over to our WKYC page to where we're doing our little live stream here with you. And again, if you have any questions on what's going on in your neck of the woods, I'd love to take just a moment here to dive into that before going through your 7-day forecast, which, oh my goodness, if you like the cold, you are going to love absolutely everything about the 7-day. All right, so there's a couple of comments that I'm seeing here, and I want to make sure that I get to a few of you guys. Let me see if I can turn this thing down in terms of the volume. And lots of folks want to know, all right, what does it look like in Perry and Lake County in terms of snowfall accumulation? That's from Miss Michelle. And Michelle, it looks like, again, we're in the 4 to 8 inch zone in your neck of the woods. And I don't know if you can notice, but my phone conveniently died on me. Oh my goodness. So I guess that's not going to happen. So I'll push this back out of the way. Sorry about that. But yeah, Michelle and Perry, before that phone died on me. Again, I think that parts of Lake County pick up between 4 to 8 inches of snow. Let's jump into your 7-day because it's going to be outrageously cold for the next couple of days here. 36 degrees our normal high temperature for today. That not the case today. Of course, it's the first day of Kwanzaa, and we're looking for temperatures only in the mid-teens, overnight lows in the single digits. You factor in those winds, and it feels well below zero, not only today, but tomorrow on Wednesday as well. I think that we enjoy a little bit more sunshine. Notice the 20% chance of snowfall. I think most of that happens during the morning hours, and then through the afternoon, it'll just be a couple of flurries and some very light snow showers. And notice that even Wednesday night, so tomorrow night into Thursday, we're at 6 degrees for an overnight low. Really, really cold stuff there. And then by Thursday afternoon, we're at about 19, so still below that 20-degree threshold, keeping in mind that 36 is where we'll be. The warmest day of this entire work week looks like it'll be on Friday. And when we say warm, it's relatively speaking. So if you're joining us here on Facebook Live from Florida, for us, 22 is going to be warm this week. Still 10 degrees below freezing. That's going to be our warmest day. We are not expecting any of the snowfall that you're seeing outside right now to melt. So if you haven't done so already, if you've been inside over the past couple of days celebrating the holidays and the family and friends came on over to your place and you left your car outside and there's like a layer of snow there, you'll want to clean that up as quickly as possible because it is going to be like cement by the time you get out to your vehicle to try to scrape that off if perhaps you're a weekend warrior and heading on in. Now, Friday evening into Saturday, we're expecting another system-wide snow to move on in. That means it's more of like a clipper system is what we're looking for. Typically provides us with about 1 inch to 3 inches of snow when a clipper moves through parts of northeast Ohio. So that's something to keep in mind Friday evening. And then on Saturday, by Sunday, we're back to it. Temperatures well below that 36-degree threshold and well below, again, that 20-degree level where we'll be over the next couple of days here. And then, as you know, Sunday evening is New Year's Eve here in northeast Ohio. Plans for that? Notice temperatures in the teens, and by the time that clock strikes midnight, I think that we'll be in the lower teens, wind chills in the 20s, so it's going to be a really cold go of things. And then it kind of matched up perfectly just in time for 2018 as we ring in the new year. We're going with 18 degrees, so again, a really chilly go of things. And again, I apologize for not being able to answer your questions immediately on our Facebook Live page. My cell phone literally it just died 2 seconds ago. But you can always add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, or on Instagram. If you have any more specific questions for me, feel free to head to my Facebook page there, and I'll make sure to answer those questions for you as well. Please be safe if you have friends or family that are in town. I hope that you had a wonderful time with your family. Welcome back home if you're going to be staying for the next couple of days. If you're hitting the roadways today or early tomorrow and you're driving along 90 out of the state toward Erie, Pennsylvania, please be very, very careful on those roadways, giving yourself plenty of distance and stopping distance between your vehicle and that vehicle in front of you because, again, time and time again, we always receive reports of car pileups when we have really intense lake effect snow bands persisting in our primary snow belt. So please watch for it. Again, Facebook, Twitter, or on Instagram, you can feel free to add me on one or all three for more. Until then, though, thanks so much for joining me right here on Facebook Live. And again, watch out for that lake effect snow, friends. It can be a doozy. Enjoy the rest of your Kwanzaa and make it a great rest of your Tuesday.